All right, something unusual happened in the Clippers versus the Trailblazers game today. Damian Lillard had an opportunity to basically almost ice the game and put the Portland Trailblazers up. He missed 2 free throws, and the Clippers ended up winning. Now, Kawhi Leonard didn't play tonight, but it was still a competitive game, and Portland's been competitive with every team they play so far, and they still 1.5 games back of the Memphis Grizzlies. I think if you 4 games or less back, you can still play in to get an opportunity to make the playoffs, but basically, Patrick Beverly let him know about it. Paul George went to social media to get his come-ups. And let's talk about what Damian Lillard had to say about Ether and boy Paul George, man. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Check out our NBA Talk playlist for more videos like this. And, Patrick Beverly was on the bench pointing at his wrist, clowning him and just having fun. All right? You heard what Patrick Beverly said. He was the hardest guy to guard in the league. All right? He just said that a couple weeks ago. But, at the end of the day, they were just basking in Damian Lillard's misery, all right? And Damian Lillard, he proud. He from Oakland. He a proud guy. He going to respond. He ain't going to take to that nicely at all, okay? And, Paul George shouldn't talk. He sent him home last year. He one of my favorite players with a go-ahead deep 3. But this year, I guess Paul George felt like he was on the good side of things, and he basically said that, we sent him home this year, all right? But he goes on to say, asking me about Patrick Beverly, who I sent home before at the end of the game. Paul George, this is Damian Lillard's quote, Paul George got sent home last year by me in the playoffs, so they know the reason they're acting like that is because of what they expect from me, all right, which is a sign of respect. It just shows you that what I've done at the highest clip, all right, more times than not. I'm not offended by it. If anything, it should just tell you how much it hurt them to go through what I've put them through in those situations previously. And then he went on to respond to Paul George. It says, Lillard comments then led to a response from Paul George, who wrote on Instagram, and you getting sent home this year. To which Lillard replied, keep switching teams, running from the grind. You boys is chumps. All right. So he basically accused, Paul George of running from the grind, trying to make it work in Indiana, which obviously it wasn't his fault. Even Larry Bird came out and co-signed him and said that Indiana refusing to pay the bag. But, it was reports that, he wanted out of Oklahoma City because they couldn't get it done with him in Westbrook. And Damian Lillard's a proud dude. Damian Lillard, he want to get it done in Portland. He want to end it where he started at, and you got to respect it. That's old school. That's Larry Bird. That's, Michael Jordan way. He went to the Wizards at the end of his career, but y'all get what I'm saying. But, at the end of the day, he ain't gone yet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still can see him in the second round or at some point. So, the Blazers ain't gone yet, but it feel good to have the gun. But don't forget, the rabbit always get the gun again. So, to kind of speak on Patrick Beverly before I go in on Paul George. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes feeling good, and I think Beverly was having a good time with it. I don't think he meant anything malicious by it, but to go up there and see something unusual like that with Damian Lillard, who is one of the big shot takers and makers in basketball, missed 2 free throws. I mean, if they ever run into each other down the line again, I mean, I think a lot of people gonna keep following Dame to see if Dame gonna crack under pressure. But I just think Patrick Beverly was doing the most. All right, but as far as Paul George, he keeps switching teams. Damian Lillard right, but it's his prerogative. When Damian Lillard look back on it, he gonna end up like Charles Barkley, where every time he turn around, they're gonna take a shot at him because he didn't get a ring. He gonna wait till he's too old and try to tag team and get a ring like Malone and Gary Payton, which Malone didn't get one. Is he gonna be that guy? In my opinion, he need to let his pride go, and probably he do need to move to another team. But I respect him trying to grind it out in Portland. But don't knock Paul George because he didn't, because Indiana didn't want to spend money, and then Oklahoma City didn't work with Russell Westbrook, neither did with Kevin Durant. But, that's his prerogative. You know what I'm saying? You can't call him a chump for wanting to go back home to L.A. and team up with Kawhi. Can't. Everybody don't look at the game like Damian Lillard. People want to win. And if an organization ain't willing to spend the money and put the work in and put the resources around you to win, I'm not mad at Paul George for switching teams. You know what I'm saying? Organizations trade players all the time against their will and move players all the time. So, Damian Lillard seemed to be stuck in this mindset that, he got to do it in Portland. You know what I'm saying? It ain't been done in Portland since Bill Walton had 2 good knees. and that's a long time. It's a different day and age in the NBA, but, you know, Paul George, of course, he got the gun. The Rabbit got the gun. He want to have some fun. He deserved to. You know, last year you waving at him and taunting him when he said it was a bad shot. Now it's his turn. Now what you can do, Damian Lillard in Portland, still make the playoffs. You know, run through them boys, see the Clippers, and you can send them home again formally on your way to the Western Conference Finals or to the NBA Finals. But, you know, I don't read much into that, man. You know what I'm saying? Them going back and forth on social media, they probably not gonna see each other on the playoffs. Damian Lillard them is 32 and 39. You know what I'm saying? The Clippers 47 and 22. But it was like, you know, unusual to see him miss 2 big free throws at the end of the game. And, you know, at the end of the day, it comes with the territory. Nobody perfect. You see the Last Dance. Mike missed some last chance shots with Boston. You don't make all of them. You know, but him to miss some 2 free throws, all the shit you be talking to, Dame Lillard, you know, waving people home, hitting your wrist. Hey, you got to take your wins like you take your losses. You got to take your losses like you take your wins. You know, when you up and you feeling fine and dandy and you turning up and sending people home and going and drawing back and forth, you know, and you up, you know, hey, keep that same energy when you down. You live to shoot another day. But, you know, Paul George said, you know, some guys can talk and play. Some guys get distracted by the talk. He basically said Damian Lillard got distracted by, you know, going back and forth verbally with each other and with the other Clippers, and he took his eye off the prize, which was the free throw line. You know, but, you know, Portland's still around there, dangerous team. I think a lot of people rooting for them to get the 8th seed. I'm rooting for them to get the 8th seed. Why not? It'll be competitive to see them and AD on the way. Anthony Davis and LeBron go at it, man. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think it's just good fun. It's good sound clips. It's good news clippings. And eventually, they in the West, they got to see Damian Lillard again. Maybe next year, you know, maybe somewhere in the playoffs. This year, you still got to see that man. But, you know, he cooked Paul George for the game winner. So I wouldn't criticize Dame or label him a bust. You don't make every big shot. You know what I'm saying? You don't. But if they end up not making the playoffs or missing out on the play-in game, people going to turn back to this as one of his darkest hours of his career so far. But I think he got to get off the tip that everybody should stay in one organization and try to win this championship. It don't work like that no more. At some point in the NBA, it was no free agency. And then, you know, these teams make business decisions all the time. So just my opinion on that one. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to check out our NBA Talk playlist. Don't forget to be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal, description. Best way to donate is share the video. But let me know what you guys think about Damian Lillard in the video. And, you know, y'all still think Portland got a chance to make it. But, hey, appreciate that love, support. Keep sharing the videos. Don't forget to check out the channel out, Motor City Sports Talk for everything Detroit. One time for the one time we gone.